You got to turn your microphone around.
Yeah, I know that. Part of this is a quality check on you as this consummate professional that you claim to be.
Right. I'm like, does Maggie notice my microphone is backwards?
So I'd like to play little tricks on you. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, 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 only Suits fans.
This is Season 5, Episode 13, God's Green Earth, and Season 5, Episode 14, Self-Defense. I've been doing this thing this week where I'm like, I'm going to go to bed super early. I just hadn't been feeling great. I was like, I need some rest. And so I go to bed and then I get back up. And because I'm scrolling and that's not working.
Right.
Try to read. But 2 nights this week I've gotten up and come back to the spot on my couch. And watch television. Suits. I watched Suits the other night because I was like, well, I'm going to watch it now. And I wanted to text you, but I wasn't sure when you were watching. And I'd be like, I figured you were. I was like, this is 13 and 14 are like, I really just wanted to text you these 3 words. Wild and believable.
Wild and believable.
Am I right?
It is. Kyle and I, when we stopped episode 14, we were like, ugh. And he's like, when are you recording? And I was like, tomorrow. Don't worry.
Don't worry. We can watch it. Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
I know. I've written a brief.
Oh, I would love to hear it.
Would you like to hear it? And it's brief.
Good.
Okay. I'm not going to, like we've talked about, I'm not going to apologize for my work because sometimes you have to take things in a direction that are unexpected. If there's ever been the time for a real brief, it's now when Mike's life is on the line. And Anita Get Ready for Gibbs is hardly brief in her investigation. She can't stop and won't stop going after everyone and their dog. Wait, is there not a dog on this show? Speaking of dogs, Mike does the unthinkable and represents himself and gives the jury an old dog and pony show. It seems like everyone at PSL is in on this corruption, and instead of turning themselves in, they are turning up the heat and doubling down on their shadiness. You know what might calm them down and give them a nice reality check? A dog. This show really needs a dog.
It does. All it has is a bitch. Anita bitch and Gibbs.
Yeah! That's really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know how ironic it is, or I should say that the irony is not lost on me, that we did spend 8 minutes trying to get Whiskey the producer dog to calm the F down, and then I wrote a brief about dogs.
It was serendipitous.
This
the
whole
universe
show is
conspiring. I think that if there was a dog, Jessica Pearson would have it, and it would be a Scotty dog.
You know, I think this is actually a really great topic for the Harvey Specter Monthly.
You know what? It is. And maybe you will find it on December 1st in your inboxes.
Coming up soon. It's going to be over Thanksgiving weekend. So it'll be that Sunday, December 1st, is when it'll drop. So we've already been.
It's my dad's birthday.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Happy birthday to Bill.
Thanks.
Also an attorney.
Mm-hmm. So really, everyone should subscribe to the Harvey Specter Monthly, which you can do at onlysuitsfans.com.
So many full circle moments on this.
So many.
You know, we, speaking of full circle, our good friend Josh of the pod messaged us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you sent me a screenshot of it because I was not checking the messages and you were. He said that they talked about the West Wing on Sidebar.
Which I think has sealed something for us. The presidential seal of approval for us to do a West Wing podcast after this.
We might have to be only Sorkin fans.
We might have to.
They talked about, I'll just tell you what it is real quick before we get in. I did listen. Josh is correct. Josh, a couple of things here first. This is really good intel. And sometimes we are doing our own R&D over here and aren't able to get to sidebars quick. So we are unofficially nominating you to be the recording secretary for OSF.
Yes.
So any of this kind of stuff like that, you could pass along to us. That would be super helpful. Josh, we're not sure if you've left a review. So we're literally calling you out for a couple of weeks in a row here on this pod. You're getting named.
We've been subtle.
We've been subtle.
We've been subtle with several people. We're like, oh, yay, thanks for listening. But it's also like,
Well, because we have all these people that are listening, and then they tell us they're listening, and then they don't leave a review.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
We only name a few people out by name.
The people that we really know.
That we like, yeah. So Josh, you now have been named and called out to please leave a review. And also, but I will say this information is very helpful to us. So,
it is super helpful.
As the recording secretary, we look for any of this other things coming back. So here's what they said on Sidebar. They were talking, they meaning Patrick J. Adams and Sarah Rafferty, were talking about a walk and talk in the episode that they were recapping, which was Tricks of the Trade.
I love that episode.
Yeah, it's a great episode. And so they're talking about a walk and talk, and they're like, this is a big part of, what we do here on Suits, which you and I labeled early on as something that they did all of the time. They dropped the empty coffee cups.
They did.
After season 1, which was a nice thing for them to do. That wasn't even a note we gave them, because we came along so much later.
They just learned.
But then Patrick J. Adams says this is actually just part of like a lot of shows that walk and talks. It's a very big thing about the dynamic. And they're like, yeah, like on the West Wing. So it was just a quick little mention.
Not as long as your mention.
Not as long as my mention. Yeah.
But
probably we'll cut some of this because this is a lot of mentions here.
But walk and talks, and let's walk and talk our way into the episode.
I love whenever I'm rambling and you just dig us out real quick and we do a fucking 180 pivot. You're like, and I'm always the one that says we have to get this going because I have to go to bed. And I'm the one rambling, and you will do the most segue of segues. You will basically ride a segue into my dining room.
Yeah, I love segues, and they're never good, but they get the job done.
Speaking of jobs.
Speaking of jobs, we have one, and it's to recap episode 13 and 14.
You're right. Let's we'll do a little BC. You want to kick us off with some BC before credits?
Before credits, we're in the courtroom, and Mike sees a guy who he took the LSATs for.
Yikes.
Super yikes. Mm-hmm. And he is actually working with Anita.
Get ready for Gibbs.
Mike and Harvey demand that Gibbs hands over the discovery. And she's like, that's fine. But then the trial needs to happen ASAP. And the judge agrees. So the trial is now going to be in 2 weeks. But they're going to get all of the discovery. They're going to know everything they have on Mike.
Mm-hmm. Jack Soloff comes in the office and he's like, I have a problem. And he says this to Jessica. There is an op-ed in the journal that someone has written they had to have known. It even says things like something about God's green earth, right? Which is actually the title, which is kind of a weird verbiage. And he has a solution to fix this. It's going to be pro bono cases. And she's like, are you trying to trick me? He's like, no, I'm not trying to trick you. Like, he's actually trying to solve the problem. Because he knows if he can solve the problem, it's one step closer to getting his name on the door.
Yes. He's like, I've spent my whole career here.
It'd be PSLZ.
I think is it Zoloff or Zoloff?
So plural PSLs?
PSSL?
PSLS.
PSLS.
Yeah.
Give me those pumpkin spice lattes.
But the names that are at the beginning and the end are the ones you always remember.
So why Spectre sandwiched?
Well, because it was just Pearson Spectre.
Yeah,
so it would be weird to move it around.
It'd be weird, yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to forget Spectre no matter where he is in a sandwich.
That man. Mm-hmm. Then we see Gibbs, and she is serving Mike a subpoenas for his fiance, who is Rachel.
Yeah.
And this just pisses Mike off. And he's so upset. He's like, we need to start going after Anita. And Harvey says, you actually need to cool it and go through that discovery. So instead of trying to go after her, go through the discovery.
Yeah. As Taylor Swift would say, you need to calm down.
You need to calm down. You're being too loud.
And I was like,
uh-oh.
You need to just stop.
And that's what Mike needs to do.
He does need to stop. So then we hear our favorite song, A Great Mug.
Save another piece of pie for my wife. And then we see Rachel, and she sees Anita
out on the streets.
And
we've had a lot of street scenes with Anita Gibbs. I guess because she's not really welcome in the office, though she has been in there a few times.
She's
but lots
always
of street
lurking.
She's a lurker.
Not
a looker, but a lurker.
A lurker. Mm-hmm. Some might say she's
lurker.
a lurker.
I hardly know her.
She's definitely a lurker. I hardly know her.
Yeah.
she is like, hey, why don't you get in the car, Rachel? Come on, get in the car.
Yeah, it's
and
like
Rachel's
a
like,
little
okay.
candy. It's like might as well be like a white unmarked van with a bunch of
Right.
now and laters waiting for you on the other side.
Yes, I'm like, Rachel, don't get in the car.
First depot, a white van pulls up and tries to lure you in. What is the candy that would make you question all like sanity and everything you know about this situation being wrong? As an adult Maggie, what would be that candy?
Hey, Maggie. Oh my gosh, I have the best goss. And then I'd be like, like, it's just, I can't resist it.
It's goss, not candy.
Yeah. Candy for my brain. Rotten it. It's rotten my brain.
Okay.
But I want that goss.
That's fair.
And I'd be like, oh, you know my name? You must know goss that I want to hear. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
How about you?
Maybe like fried okra. I don't ever eat it. I love fried okra so much. And if done right, fried okra is a treat amongst treats. And
Yeah.
I think it would just be such a treat for me because it would be sweet in my heart, not necessarily sweet by taste, because it's not an everyday treat.
And you would know, too, if a white van pulled up, you'd know pretty fast if they were actually selling okra. Or giving
Yeah,
away
I would
okra.
know.
'Cause you'd be
Well,
able
first
to
of all,
smell
I would
it.
know if there was an okra van
Yeah.
somewhere in this town.
It feels like fried okra, too, would come out of an unmarked van.
I don't know. If I was selling okra, I would mark it up. I'd be like, this man sells okra.
But it's just a marker.
Yeah.
Paint pens.
It's paint pens.
This
yeah.
man smells
Maybe highlight
and
it.
sells
Maybe I
okra.
draw it with some puff paint on top of it. You know,
It's
just
perfect.
like. So the other question here is: have you had fried? You've had fried okra once.
I have had
Is it
fried
when I
okra.
cooked it here for you and kind of burned it, or have you had it at a real restaurant?
I think that because you and Kyle are big fans of fried okra, I've had it before.
Isn't it great?
I just have never, because it's not like something that I'm like, I'm craving fried okra.
I do.
You do. Imagine how much more fried okra you would eat if there was a van just driving around the neighborhood.
It's probably good. Like, this is better for like just general health and portion control, because if a fried okra van went off with its siren, like a little La Princesa that sells the ice cream and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what do you think the song would be if it was fried okra van?
Save another piece of pie for your wife. It would be the green black boogie.
She segues as she highlights the screen so that we get back on track.
We must get
back on track. I had a deposition. Sometimes the depots run long.
No, that was great.
Okay. We're fun.
Okay.
We have fun here.
So we're fun here. Only fun fans.
Yeah, only fun fans.
Only seats fun. Mm-hmm. Okay, then we see Lewis, and he's talking to Jessica, and it turns out all the summer associate applications, they only got 3.
It's not because they were like law school people like Sheila were black. Like Sheila wasn't trying to blackball these people, or blackball Pierce Spector Lit. That's it. Those are the only 3 that wanted to be requested.
Yeah. But Jessica doesn't really know that. She's like, Sheila's blackballing us.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Yeah, go fix it. Go
fix
unblackball. Mm-hmm. I'm here to reverse the black ball.
Yeah. Get us some other colored balls.
Yeah,
Purple.
purple.
Blue.
Oh, we don't want blue balls. All right, Rachel and Anita get ready for Gibbs are at Rachel's favorite cafe. Okay. She is there to offer her a deal and to get Mike into Columbia. And she says, I can get Mike in. He can go to law school. He can be a lawyer after all. We just need you to turn on Harvey. Because you're going to be going before the ethics committee, I think is what it's called. Is that what it's called?
For the bar.
For the bar.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lie to them. She's like, well, I'm not going to lie to them. And Anita says, pleading the fifth or perjuring yourself is not going to look good in front of them. So,
And she's like, I'm going to tell them.
yeah.
Anita's like, I will tell the ethics board and you will not pass the bar.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Cry.
coming for everyone.
Dude, she hates Harvey's back.
Also interesting that she's like, I will offer, Mike can go to Columbia. She doesn't care that Mike has been practicing without a license.
She actually doesn't give 2 shits.
No.
All her shits are about Harvey.
Mm-hmm. So then Mike and Donna go through so many boxes of discovery.
And Mike calls it out. This is the old trick, like bury them in paperwork. And
Yep.
we've seen this firsthand.
It's so many
We
boxes.
bury people in paperwork.
We love burying people in paperwork.
The amount of paperwork that comes out of the OSF office is
Tons.
Tons.
We're just sending cease and desists constantly.
Constantly. Just to be litigious.
It's our marketing strategy.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Donna has actually never done doc review before, which is what we learned.
Yeah. Interesting.
She doesn't know what to do.
No, she starts taking notes.
And Harvey and then Mike's like,
Yeah.
Get it done.
Jessica comes strolling in with a donut. She's got a donut for her. A donut
I thought it was a bagel at first, but it is a donut.
It's a donut. It's interesting packaging for a donut. This is odd because we never see Jessica eat unless she goes to a very fancy restaurant. We've only seen that a couple of times. It might be because she doesn't have a secretary to help remind her to eat, but she's never really eating.
She's never had a breakfast bar.
No, she's never had a breakfast bar.
But
so
she's
it's interesting that
eating
she
a
donut. Yeah, I think Carl's a little off on this. He doesn't realize that there's.
But was she bringing it for Harvey as a treat? She doesn't actually eat it.
No, she brought one for her and one for him. She took it by. I think she just wanted him to eat. You know, nothing says keeping your energy up than just a sugar carb circle.
Yeah.
And Jessica says he is only handling one thing while she is handling everything because he's like stressed out. He's like, I don't have time to eat. She's like, I'm literally doing everything around here and you're doing one thing. So, and also I don't have a secretary. Let's just remember.
Yeah. Like just grow up, Harvey. And she's so right. Like, come on, Harvey.
Yeah.
You are worried about Mike. I also have to worry about Mike and the entire firm and keep it running. And we're losing clients and we don't have summer associates. And you are in one lane doing one thing.
Yeah, dude.
Jessica then goes to talk to Jack. So interesting to go from Harvey to Jack because she's like, this is what we're actually going to do. We're going to poach an entire goddamn department from another firm. We're going to kick ass and remind them that I am fierce. We're not going to do pro bono cases and hide in a corner. We're coming out and we're stealing from people. And Jack's like, oh, good, because then it looks like then you're pretending that you're innocent.
Yeah, pretending. Then we see Rachel. She's in the copy room, and Mike is mad because she talked to Gibbs.
Horrible
he was like,
move.
Why did you do that? She's like, I don't know. She just like got to me, right? And she said that she didn't get into my head. She dangled our dream in front of me, and she just wants to cry because she wants to process her emotions and then be done with it rather than bottling them all up.
Hard relate to this.
Yes.
Like, if I am upset about something, I just want to wallow by myself. I don't want someone to talk to me about it. And then I will figure it out and I'll go.
You're the one that sets a timer and cries into a pillow, correct?
I do. Yes, I do. I set a timer.
How long? What's the time you're using these days?
Sometimes 5 minutes.
Okay.
5
Do you
minutes
still
is-
cry into the pillow or do you just cry?
I just lie down on the bed.
Okay.
More so. Doesn't matter where.
Now, when the buzzer goes off, do you just pop up and start going about your day, or is there a soft transition back in?
It depends on the wallow. Sometimes it's a roll and it's like, ugh.
Okay.
But you got to get up after it.
Yeah.
And do something.
You do. You can't be down forever.
Yeah, you can't be down forever.
Yeah, that's what they say. Mike tells Harvey that he should have been with Rachel when she was down there, and they got to knock Gibbs out.
Yeah, he's so mad at Harvey for not babysitting Rachel. And it's like, okay. Harvey's like, she should have known not to get in the cat. I can't.
What's she dumb?
What?
What's she doing?
Yeah. Then we see Lewis, and he confronts Sheila, and he's like, I can't believe you turned yourself in. I can't believe you, like, let them know. And she's like, I didn't, Lewis. They found me, and I didn't come forward, and I'm also not sending you the bottom of the barrel. That is who's willing to apply to PSL, because they don't even know if this firm's going to exist. And he says to her, all I have is this firm. I need you to give this firm a second chance.
Donna also suggests that Harvey go after Anita. Everybody's like, yeah, go after her. Instead of get ready for Gibbs, go get ready for Gibbs.
Go get ready, Gibbs.
And get Gibbs.
Get Gibbs.
Yeah, go get Gibbs.
I need to get Gibbs.
I need a G3.
I need to go get Gibbs.
Jack Zoloff interrupts Jessica's alone time at the street coffee vendor, and he says that she's going to need to pay double to poach a department, and Jessica agrees.
It's a department that they don't really need. It'll be a duplicate department at their firm, but she just needs to show a power move. So she says that's fine.
Yeah.
So then Harvey we see visiting Scotty, but it's not actually a Harvey. It's Mike Ross pretending to be Harvey Specter just to get
Baby
in
Harvey.
to see Scotty. And he needs someone to be willing to bring an action against Anita's sister. And Mike says that Anita's not going to stop until she gets to Harvey, which you can see kind of pulls at Scotty's heartstrings.
Because she's not doing anything for Mike Ross, but she might still do something for Harvey because she does still love him.
But she's like, get out of here, baby Harvey. Get out.
Then Harvey sanctions Anita for improperly contacting a witness, which is Rachel. And Harvey realizes that Anita planted the editorial because she said something about God's green earth. And so he caught that language. He then realizes again, which not for the first time, we keep seeing this thing where they're like, oh, now I realize Anita just can't stop, won't stop. And she'll do anything. But like we keep seeing this. So
it's like a lesson they have to learn over
they
and
need
over
to
and
know
over again.
Anita's not going to stop. Let's all get over
Which
that.
is what's wild about this is Anita Gibbs is correct. She is correct.
I know.
And she is doing the right thing.
I know.
And all of our favorite people are doing the wrong thing. So she is like, oh, you're like so frustrated that she's doing all these things to get them. But it's because she's on the right side of history.
Yeah.
Then we see Rachel. She is going to visit the Dean of Columbia Law for her very first official student review. Mm-hmm. And she thinks that this is going to be, I'm doing so great.
Yeah.
But he is actually questioning her LSAT score because she did so horribly. And then all of a sudden she did well once Mike Ross came into her life. And he says he is going to expel her unless the allegations drop against Mike. And Rachel realizes that Anita Gibbs got to him.
She got.
Because no one
Gibbs
knew.
got her.
Yeah, Gibbs got her because no one knew Mike cheated on the LSATs. Like that's information that she must have given him.
Yeah. Then we see Scotty, and she's in Harvey's office, and she thinks that Harvey sent Mike, and Harvey's like, "What are you talking about?" And Mike did this all on his own. She says it was Mike's secret that broke them up in the first place, and Donna tells Harvey he needs to calm down.
So yeah, Scotty storms out,
Right,
and then
yeah.
Donna storms in and is like, "Maybe you're mad because Scotty's right." Mm-hmm. Leaf, not what Harvey wanted to hear.
No. Jack can't get this department to jump ship, and they may have to ask him to leave. So he's loyal to PSL, which is like kind of a test here to show his loyalty.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He can't, even though he's offering double, they're still like, no, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Then we see Jessica and Lewis after hours. He breaks the news to her that people are scared to come to PSL. Mm-hmm. It's not bottom of the barrel people because of Sheila. It's bottom of the barrel people because of Jessica. Mm-hmm. Then he tells her he has contacted all the top 20 law schools and he is opening the doors to PSL. It's not just going to be Harvard.
Because he realized during all of this that some of the best lawyers didn't go to Harvard. Mm-hmm. He's talking about Mike Ross.
Who never even went to undergrad.
I know. He didn't get his underpants degree.
Mm-mm. Rachel is washing dishes, which we learn is a sign that something is wrong. Mm-hmm. She doesn't wash dishes.
Me too.
Same.
Yeah.
I only do it when something is wrong. Or someone is coming over.
Yeah.
Announced.
It's not true. I actually do. I don't like washing them, but I just don't. I have like a fear of like bugs or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
Getting on food.
Yeah.
That's like stuck to a dish.
Oh.
You know?
And like planting eggs or something.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Now I've thought about that. Great.
She's super hesitant to share what is wrong because Mike gets so goddamn upset anytime she's honest with him. Mm-hmm. But he says, no, tell me. And she tells him about the meeting with the dean. And this lets Mike know what he needs to do. Mm-hmm. Now he's like, oh, okay, I got it. Mm-hmm. And he says this guy on the council, David Green, mm-hmm. must have told Anita Gibbs mm-hmm. that Mike took the LSATs for him. Mm-hmm. So he's got to do what he's got to do.
Mm-hmm. Jack knocks on Jessica's door and shares that they offered him a job.
At the other firm?
Yeah. He wants to know if he can ever be named partner there. And then he decides to hand her the dirt that Daniel Hartman has on him.
Huge move.
Yeah, he's like, hey, now you've got it too. So both of you guys have got it.
Jack is coming out. Like, you know what Jack's motivation is. He's like, I have invested too much into this ship. So even if it is sinking, I will sink with it. Mm-hmm. Very noble. Very stupid. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Then we see Mike outside somewhere. He confronts David Green because Mike has a photographic memory and he remembers David's driver's license and he like knows everything about him and he needs proof that Anita is pressuring the Dean of Columbia to pressure Rachel. And David's like, how am I supposed to get it? He's like, you'll figure it out. He's like, if you don't, I'm gonna ruin you.
Yeah, you might not have been smart enough to get a 178 on the LSAT, but I think you're smart enough to figure out how to do this.
Yep.
Harvey and Mike slam a blue folder with a malicious prosecution accusation on Anita's desk, which they will drop if she drops Rachel. Mm-hmm. If she stops trying to destroy Rachel's life. So she signs it. She's like, fine, I won't go after the Dean of Columbia and tell him to drop Rachel. But then she says, listen, court's about facts, and the fact is you're not a goddamn lawyer. Because they're like, look at us, we're winning, we got you, Anita Gibbs. And she goes, no, I gibbed you by the balls. I got you with the facts. Then Mike walks into the copy room where Rachel is, and he's got his puffy chest. And Rachel's like, you did it. You saved the day.
Thanks to my daddy.
Thanks, Daddy.
Then we see Lewis, and he is on the phone, and no one is coming into this firm. Like no
Columbia.
No Columbia.
No Cornell.
Princeton. No Stanford. All these top 20. They're not coming. So Jessica comes to Lewis about offering Jack named partner. She goes, Jack's wanting to know if he'll ever be named partner. And he says, leadership sucks.
Yeah, he's like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
And people aren't coming because of leadership.
Yeah. And Jessica says he needs to make sure Sheila doesn't show up to trial.
If he wants to do something about it.
Yeah, he's like, if he wants to fix it, go fix Sheila.
He has to keep going up and talk to Sheila.
Yeah. I was getting some frequent flyer points.
Yes.
What is that, a 2-hour flight from New York to Boston?
If even.
Maybe an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
Donna is in Rachel's office, and she apologizes to Rachel for their blow up in the bathroom that we saw last episode. And it's a blow up, not a blowout.
Yeah, so there's no poo-poo in there.
It was just like an emotional blow up. She says, listen, I will always love you, Rachel. And Rachel says, and I will always love you, Donna. Which feels like it's setting up for something.
Scotty visits Harvey.
Again.
Yes, because she doesn't want anyone from PSL showing up at her firm anymore. And he tells her that he's been seeing someone again, meaning a therapist. And so has she. And they're talking about, like, are they going to get out on the other side of this? And he goes, I don't know if I'll be able to get out on the other side of this, but I just want to know if I do, is it okay to call you again? And she's like, well, I've been seeing somebody as well, so I don't know how I'm going to be when this is all done. So I don't know, Harvey.
Right. I don't know, but you can always call. That's what she says. We can always see. Then as Scotty is leaving the office, Rachel tells her, I'm so sorry that you got caught up in the crosshairs, crossfire. And Scotty asks if Rachel's thought about what happens. And she goes, well, if he gets out, or like if he goes to jail. And she goes, no, even if he doesn't, because this is not going to be good. And she's like, well, he's not going to practice law. And she goes, okay, but then he's going to watch you practicing law, the thing he loves, and he's going to resent you. Rachel says this is not going to happen. This was a prediction of mine back when he worked for the investment bankers.
That's true.
So I'm with Scotty on this. This is not going to be good.
Yeah. Lewis sees Sheila again, and he gives her a ticket to Argentina. Said, I need you to go on this vacation because you can't be here.
And she's like, I have to be here.
Yeah, she's like, I have to be here. I'm not going to do that. I'm so sorry. And then he completely turns it the fuck on.
He lits her up
like it's a little mock trial right up there in Boston proper, okay? And he literally tears her up, and she is like starting to cry and everything. And she's like, why would you say that? Why would Harvey would never say those things? I can't believe you would tell Harvey things. He's like, I have to tell Harvey this stuff because I have to protect my firm. Also, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you think that this is bad or not. She obviously has not seen enough mock trials. Okay.
Right. And also he's crying while he's doing this. This is hurting him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, something else that's going to be bad, Mike planning his own defense.
Woof.
He thinks he's going to be better for the case than Harvey, which is historically not true. Then Don interrupts because they have a problem. She has discovered something in Discovery.
They found Trevor.
Dum-dum-dum-dum.
Lawyer up.
What?
20 years of friendship comes down to lawyer up.
Lawyer up. This next episode.
Self-defense.
Man. Well, it's a weak whistle.
I can't whistle. What a mess. Okay, before the credits, very first thing we see, Trevor on the stand. We don't know who's going to be asking him questions. Anita's questioning him about Mike approaching him just a few days ago.
To not testify.
Telling him not to testify.
Yeah.
And he says, yes, that's true. Then we flash back to before Trevor takes the stand. And we see Mike talking to him again. And he says, instead of testifying against him, why doesn't he testify against Harvey? Trevor says, Mike, Anita told me there's a way out of this for you. And the way out of it is not me lying.
Right.
The way out of this is not me putting my life on the line. The way out of this is you need to get it together. And you need to testify against Harvey. If you don't want to go to jail, testify against Harvey. If you don't want to hear what I got to say, testify against Harvey.
Yeah. Harvey tells Jessica that Mike wants to represent himself and that he has a plan. She's like, oh my God. What? I mean, she's just kind of like at this point, like,
shut up. That's the worst idea I've ever heard.
Yeah. Harvey tells Mike that he can handle Trevor. He's like, I got it, right? And Harvey says he can't represent himself unless they do a trial run. And Harvey says, if I beat you, then I represent you in court. He said, you might be the best closer in the city, but I'm fighting for my life. So Mike's like, I'm gonna make this happen. This is an interesting little wager.
It is a mock trial. It is also interesting to air this dirty laundry out in front of the firm because it's kind of a big deal.
Here's my depo for you. Of all of your friends, if you were in this spot, who would you want to represent you?
And it's like friends that are not attorneys. It's like people on the street.
Yeah.
Like you, obviously.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. This was kind of a trick question.
I know.
Because if it was an attorney, obviously it'd be your dad.
Yeah. But not if it was in Texas, because you can't practice in Texas.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it would be someone that is an attorney.
Yeah, if you could pick an attorney. But I'm just saying, like...
But if I had to pick just someone who's not an attorney.
It would be me, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I would totally pick you.
Okay,
I would fucking let you go to town on somebody.
I would let you... I would be like, here comes AT&T Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, Amanda ready to protest.
People even know. You and I talked about AT&T Amanda this week. Because you're going to have to do that.
Because I'm going to have to do that.
With your car.
I get much more fired up for other people's situations than I do my own.
I know. I've noticed that.
Like my own stuff, I'm like, oh, that's so dumb. But other people's stuff, I'm like, no, that's an injustice and I will call.
Oh, man. I'm real chill until I'm not. Because we've seen it. And I can be cool. I can be calm. But then sometimes I am not collected.
Sometimes I am not. Then we hear... a favorite song.
And then we see one of our favorite characters.
Harold Gunderson is back.
We have been Gunderson for him.
I love Harold Gunderson. His hair is cute in this. A
Adorbs.
little side. He's the most lovable man on this show, in my opinion. And he knows what's going on. And he says, put me on the stand. I'll testify. He goes, I swear I have memories. Like, as real as it could be, I have memories of us with all the stories that Mike fed him, right? Of us in this class, of us eating pizza, all these things. And he goes, and it would be just like I'm telling the truth, because that's how real it feels to me. Put me in, coach, he says, which is very noble.
Mike is like, thanks, but no thanks. He also knows, like, Harold's not that believable as a witness.
I know, but I'm also...
But he didn't have anybody else. All he had was that, like, fake-ass, fluffy affidavit from Gerard. Like, he needs something. He needs a Harold. He needs a person.
Yes. Mock trial begins. And it's Harvey being like the cold, hard. Mike goes innuendo. They're just doing their opening arguments. Harvey sits on the witness chair because Mike calls him to the stand and asks why he doesn't have a Boston address for when he was at Harvard, because that's like the very first piece of evidence that's introduced. And it's because he was subletting while he was at Harvard, while he had a place in New York. So Mike says, oh, okay, so we don't question your credentials, right?
Right.
Then Harvey's like, actually, look at this. I've got this affidavit from Mike's graduating class, and it says that they don't know Mike, and Mike never was there, and what a shame, and we need to put him away in jail. Jessica says, well, this is a good time for a break because everyone's getting a little upset.
Yeah, it's also like he made all that up, but he's just showing that what Anita Gibbs is going to do.
Yes, because Anita Gibbs will make stuff up. She's ruthless.
Then we see Anita Gibbs back out on the street again.
Again.
I feel like they were like, you know what? Call sheet for Anita Gibbs. 3 days on the street. The woman never gets to go inside.
She's just lurking in the shadows of people's homes.
Yeah.
Outside their offices.
She is literally, you know what? That might be in her writer. It might say, I will only film outside. One in every 5 scenes I'll go in.
And I must be lurking.
Yeah, I must be lurking. She compliments Lewis on getting rid of Sheila Saz because she knows what he did. And she's going to come after him after she returns. So...
yeah, he's going to get witness tampering.
Charges. Yeah. A little tamp with a wit.
A wit tamp.
A wit tamp.
Mike confronts Harvey on making up the evidence. He's so pissed. Mm-hmm. And Harvey calls him a fool, which makes Mike upset. Mm-hmm. He does not like to be called a fool. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're just mad because I was winning. They're beefing.
They're beefing. A big beefing.
A big old beef.
Big man, big beef.
Big Mac beef.
Lewis tells Jessica what Anita said, and Jessica doesn't give a shit what Gibbs said.
No, she does not give two shits.
No.
A single shit.
She's going to go and give Anita the biz. And I love it. Pearson throwing on a big old purse and walking down there to give Gibbs the biz.
Giving Gibbs the biz.
I'm giving Gibbs the biz.
She's so pissed.
Dude.
She's so mad.
Dude, she is AT&T mad.
Everyone is mad in this episode.
Yes.
Donna stops by to tell Mike that Jessica stepped out, so the mock trial is done for the day. Mm-hmm. And also to remind him that Harvey is not the enemy, that Harvey is there preparing.
Right.
And then he's like, okay, well, I got to go do this thing. And she goes, what are you going to do? And he goes, if I told you, I wouldn't tell you because we're doing this mock trial. Mm-hmm. She goes, that's my boy. Don't trust anyone.
That's my boy.
Keep secrets.
Then Jessica goes down to give the biz to Anita. She comes in with a restraining order against her for contacting Lewis. And Anita's like, you know what? I'm going to parade every one of your people up on the stand, and they're going to have to say it. And Jessica's like, we're all going to say the same thing. We're all going to do it. We don't you even worry.
Mm-hmm. And she goes, pleading the fifth is going to look horrible to a jury. So all you get up there and plead the fifth, it's going to look just as like you're saying guilty, guilty, guilty.
Do you think that's true, though?
No, because I was on a jury and one of the defendant pled the fifth.
Uh-huh.
And I understood why. Because it wasn't necessarily related to the charge, but it was related to like other things that could later be charged.
Yeah.
So you don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
I didn't hold it against him.
You didn't?
No.
Okay. Good to know. I would want you to be a juror on my case.
Yeah, I think that jurors take it pretty seriously for the most part. And like, because we have layman understanding of the law, I think that a lot of jurors are like, wait, they said we can't take that into consideration. And I think probably 50-50 chance that they're going to do that.
That's fair. Mike then finds Jimmy out on the street, tells him he needs him to testify, saying that he knew Mike when he was at Harvard.
Yeah, so Mike takes Harold's idea and goes to
Jimmy, who he believes will be a much more reliable witness. And Jimmy is like super pissed at him. He's like, Mike, tell me this isn't true. And Mike can't really say anything. And Mike begs him, and Jimmy's like, I can't risk this. Like, I can't perjure myself.
And Mike says, but then your aunt's case will get thrown out. And he goes, then why did you take it, Mike?
Well, because Mike's been living one big, long life of perjury since he started at Pearson Spector. Lit.
Sheila calls Lewis from Argentina. Someone has approached her in the hotel lobby, asking her all these questions, like, where are you from? How long are you here? Who bought your ticket? And she realizes this is a trap. Lewis tells her that he will do anything to protect her in this moment. Yeah. And don't be afraid. Yeah. But she is definitely shaken. Then we're in Harvey's office. He has decided to call Rachel to the stand as his first witness in mock trial. And Mike is pissed. He says, Anita would never do that because we took care of that. And Harvey says, we don't know what Anita's going to do. Chill out. Donna interrupts this little lover's quarrel between Mike and Harvey to say we have a problem. In Discovery, Mike is not on any of the class rankings. Mike says, well, I want to go to Benjamin and he can fix it. Or I can go to Lola and she can fix it. And Harvey says, no. Do not do that.
No, don't do that.
Don't.
What are you doing?
They already have it in Discovery as this.
What are you doing?
Stop it.
Stop.
Knock it off, Mike.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Rachel tells Mike he looks like he's been through the ringer, which is probably true.
Yes.
He asks who she thinks should represent him, and she's with him even if he goes to Benjamin.
Yeah, even if he does something that Harvey will not like.
Yeah.
So
But she won't explicitly say you should do it or Harvey should do it.
She's lawyers him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She says, whatever, I'll be with you. Mm-hmm. She does the same thing when he asked if he should be an investment banker.
Yeah.
She's like, whatever you decide. Then we see Benjamin, who looks a lot more tired when he's in the law firm than when he's by his little computers in the IT floor.
Yeah, that's fair.
He looks like smaller, more tired.
I think the law does that to you. Yeah.
The lighting changes his whole complexion.
Yeah.
But he has done it on the house. He has done whatever Mike has asked him to do without bacon. Mm-hmm. And he says, for the record, I always knew you didn't go to Harvard because you were nice to me. And you weren't slapping your big Harvard law degree dick around.
Mm-hmm. Then we go back to the mock trial. And Mike objects to Rachel testifying, saying that Rachel and him are married. And that they got married 6 weeks ago. And so it's spousal privilege. But Harvey can still ask Rachel to testify. Rachel, she's pretty unshakable.
That's what Benjamin did. He didn't put him back onto the rankings or anything. He made a fake Nevada marriage certificate.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Rachel's still going to testify, though. And Rachel is pretty unshakable.
She does a great job. She's like, I wore white. I'll never forget the officiant.
Yeah, until Harvey brings up Logan Sanders.
What the fuck, Harvey?
Yeah,
he says, so you were married and then you cheated on him with Logan Sanders? Was that also only 6 weeks ago?
Maybe in their world. It's not 6 weeks ago for us.
Or I guess
that would have been in this season. It didn't happen in this season.
Right.
They're saying it.
Since she's been engaged to him?
I don't know if it's engaged or married.
Yeah, I don't know. But low blow. Mm-hmm. And also to air that in front of Rachel's coworkers. Every time Rachel gets up to be on mock trial, Harvey makes her sex life or something deeply personal aired in front of everyone, which is so messed up. Lewis tells Jessica what happened to Sheila in Argentina. Mm-hmm. Jessica says they're not going to get you for witness tampering because you didn't do anything wrong. She hadn't been subpoenaed. They're just trying to scare you. Lewis lit. Mm-hmm. She says everyone needs to take the fifth. Everyone needs to do that. And Lewis says, no, you need to say he went to Harvard. We can't get up there and say we take the fifth. You need to say, Jessica Pearson, he unequivocally went to Harvard and you hired him and you knew he went to Harvard. You hired him because he's a great lawyer. Then as they're having this discussion,
Anita, get ready for Gibbs, gets ready and comes on in. And she gives him.
She gives him.
She took him up on that rider where she said I would come in 1 in every 5 shoots.
And she
is inside that office.
The trial is now tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. She moved it up. Because of Sheila Saz being in Argentina, she was able to get the judge to move the trial up because she was like, what if all of our witnesses go missing?
Yeah.
Jessica says, cool, that's great, because everyone here is going to say that Mike is the best damn Harvard lawyer.
Yeah.
She took Lewis's advice.
We see Rachel, she's crying in the bathroom, and Donna comes in. Not because there was a blowout. Not because there's a blow up, but just she's crying.
She doesn't have to poop or
There's
nothing.
no poop. And Donna tries to cheer her up, but she is humiliated, rightfully so. And she says, try to imagine how he treated me when I left him for Lewis.
He can just shut off and not see you as a person.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, why do we love Harvey Specter? Because that's true. He just sees you as someone he can dominate.
Well, he's doing his job, Maggie.
And that's what Donna says. That's what makes him a good lawyer.
What's a trait that you have, Depo, where it's just like, boom, all of a sudden you can just snap into this trait? This thing that you can do.
I can be pretty unfeeling sometimes. Since I've had kids, I cry more, but I can be pretty well, let's take all the emotion out of that and just be more logical about it.
Okay.
More robot.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah. I can do that.
Yeah.
What about you?
You can name any hobby or idea you have.
And you've done it?
No. I can just completely map out an entire business plan for you and walk you through all the phases within seconds. And I'll ask you a ton of questions. Mm-hmm. And by the end of our conversation, we have a business model for you. We're talking about how you would get funding. Would you need it? Yeah. Is this something for Shark Tank? Do we need an investor?
You want to monetize.
Yeah, and it's not even about the making of the money. It's about looking at almost anything as a business model.
As a commodity.
Yeah, and while it's probably helpful to some people, it's also like, I just ordered this embroidery kit because I want to learn to embroidery. And I'm like, well, fuck, what's going to happen?
You're going to try and become Amanda's embroidery.
Yeah.
house.
I mean, I'm going to just do some, like I'm going to start
Yeah.
embroidery,
Yeah.
But you can't do that at scale.
You could do embroidery and you just embroider like initials on bras.
I could do that.
Just super niche.
That is.
Wouldn't that be cute?
That would be
Little
actually.
nipples on bras.
I could do that.
You could do that.
Because people
easy
who want their
peasy.
nipples to show through a shirt. Because
Yeah,
it's like
Skims
supposed to
is
be.
like, yes.
They put nipples on it.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do that embroidery. See, you just did it.
I did it. Sorry, couldn't help it.
Couldn't help it.
It's contagious.
But it's like literally.
Buy the domain.
I will, because I own a lot of domains. I don't own as many domains as I used to.
I got kicked off. Like, I can't add any more Instagram accounts. I had to delete them because I just kept making Instagram accounts. I forgot some.
Me too. I had a couple of them where I'm like, oh, that was a horrible business idea. Why did I do that?
Yeah. Mine weren't even business ideas. I was just like, this could hit. Mm-hmm. Never posted.
Yeah, you got to post for it to hit. Mm-hmm. That's what we learned.
Harvey goes to Mike's apartment to tell him the trial actually starts tomorrow. Rachel is there. She tells them to stop fighting because they're still in this mock trial, butting heads, ramming against each other. She says Harvey needs to represent you, Mike, because we can't have the jury hating you. And I hated Harvey when he was interrogating me. They're going to hate Harvey when he is interrogating Trevor. You cannot be hated. You need to be beloved by everyone. You can't be going after the people who are your best friends for 20 years.
That's a good point.
Great point.
Back at trial, Trevor is on the stand, and he says Mike never graduated undergrad, and that he was a bothead. And then Harvey cross-examines Trevor and accuses Trevor of signing an agreement with Anita, get ready for Gibbs, because he's going to be...
He was a dealer.
He was a dealer, but he's going to get out. Like, there's not going to be any charges pressed against him because he is coming forward. And then he says, weren't you jealous of Mike Rice? He's like, I was never jealous of him. He's like, okay, well, the next person I'm going to call to the stand is Jenny. When she found out that you had been lying about being a dealer, she left you for Mike Ross. Were you not just a little bit jealous? And he's like, yeah, I was. He's like, so if you lied about that, then what else are you lying about?
Right.
Because you also just took a deal.
Yeah, and if you were such a pothead.
Yeah. And then the prosecution calls Donna Paulson to the stand, and Jessica says to her...
Wait. Can we talk about, though, he does say that Mike never graduated undergrad, and no one is worried about it.
Remember how I said this a few episodes ago?
Yes, but now...
Nobody's actually caring about the prerequisite to get into law school, which is a LSAT and a certain GPA on your undergrad.
Yes.
Where's your underpants degree?
Where's your underpants degree?
We need to see an underpants
Pull them
degree.
up. Pull up the undies.
Pull up your undies.
Give them a wedgie. Let me see them undies.
Maybe just some boxers if you went to a community college.
But maybe briefs if you work for Only Suits fans.
That's fair.
Anyways, just totally glossed over. No one cares about this undergrad degree that Trevor's like, he never went.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, never went. No big deal. Let's talk about something else.
Never went, but he did go to Harvard.
Yeah.
So then prosecution calls Donna.
They call Donna to the stand.
Which is a surprise.
Yeah, big surprise. And Donna's like, ooh, teeth are chattering. And then she looks over to Jessica, who's sitting next to her. And Jessica says, if you lie, they'll never know.
And Donna's a great actor. So we're thinking she's going to do this, even though she's nervous. And it was kind of a surprise. And Anita goes straight in to Donna and presents Donna with the interview list. Which, how did she get this interview list?
I don't know.
The list of who Donna interviewed?
Sneaky McGibster. I know.
So she asks how Mike talked his way in, because Donna says he talked his way in, and I knew that he'd be a good lawyer. And she goes, well, did he do that by pretending to be someone else? And Donna's shaken, because he did. He lied and said he was someone else. Anita straight up asks, to the best of your knowledge, did Mike Ross go to Harvard or not? And Donna pleads the fifth.
Yikes.
And Anita says no one can place Mike Ross at Harvard. He lied about who he was to get this interview. You're pleading the fifth. But then we see Jimmy, and he's like, put me in, coach.
He does a little wink. Winkety wink wink. You know, so Jimmy's giving this like very profound testimony, and he does it in slow motion. And then he says, should a lawyer who crossed the line be given a second chance?
That's a line that him and Mike Ross debated in Gerard's ethics class. And Mike always said yes. And Jimmy thought, wow, what an upstanding young man this guy is.
Yeah.
I could learn something from him. A very touching testimony from Jimmy Kirkwood.
Yeah. And then Anita cross-examines and says, Jimmy, did you get into a heated argument with Mike Ross?
2 days ago?
When I was lurking? Because I do all my work outside.
She sees everything.
If it's outside.
Yes.
There's stuff happening inside. Gibbs ain't got a clue.
Yeah, they just need to take it inside.
Take it inside. Take everything inside because Gibbs is a lurker.
And he says, yeah, we did. And she has photos to prove it, that they were having this heated argument. And then she says, and won't your aunt lose her settlement money if Mike Ross is found not to be an attorney because he worked on that case? Basically, I would never lie about my aunt or something.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, you are lying about this because if you weren't, you wouldn't say, I'm not lying about something else.
Which is weird.
Yeah, that's a stretch. That's a stretch to me. That feels like some Psychology Today article that she read before she was planting things in the Harvard Law Journal.
Yeah. Also, I think it's interesting that they'd have to give that settlement money back. Like, what have you done? Spend it. I mean, when's the last time you got settlement money?
Well, he also worked with another lawyer on it.
Yeah.
So the attorney of record, Robert Zane.
But Mike Ross is on there, right?
Yeah, but it shouldn't matter because there is an attorney who is an attorney who oversaw it. So it feels weird to be like anything Mike Ross hasn't like done a case without someone else attached to it.
Yeah, I guess
he did a few, but he's worked on a bunch of cases, but usually with Harvey, right? I don't know. It seems like he's shaken up.
Yeah. Mike and Harvey have drinks. Harvey says it was a good day, but it was not enough. And they need a reason to want to let Mike go.
The jury does,
yeah. And so he's like, hey, you're going to have to represent yourself because they need to see you. Otherwise, we're going to lose.
And Anita's too good at cross-examining. I can't actually put you on the stand because Anita will cross-examine you to death.
Yes.
But if you're an attorney, if you're representing yourself, you don't take the stand, she can't cross-examine you.
Yeah.
Also, Donna visits Mike, but Rachel is there. And she is so upset that Anita got to her and that she hurt Mike's case. And she's ashamed of herself. And Rachel says, you need to just relax.
Yeah, dude, you need to calm down.
Chill out.
Take a knee.
Mike's a fraud. This isn't your fault, Donna. Then Anita talks to Lewis despite having the restraining order. He's like, you can't talk to me. She goes, well, you might want to hear what I have to say because I can pinpoint the exact moment that you found out about Mike Ross. And so you're acting high and mighty. But they fired you. Then you came back and were immediately named partner. I don't think so.
Right.
Anita Gibbs is basically recapping this entire series one by one in front of the characters.
Oh, interesting.
She's like, okay, Trevor, remember this, remember that. Like, she's just pulling everyone. And she knows everything that has happened. It's almost like she has watched this show.
She might have.
She's watched as much as I have.
For sure. Yeah.
She also tells him, like, guess what? They don't have mudding and they don't have ballet in prison. And this is going to be your last chance to save yourself. And hands him her card, which he takes. The end.
The end. When I think about, like, everything that's happened in this season, I think about how dedicated you have been.
Thank you.
And I don't tell you thank you enough. So I wanted to take you on a little trip. Just a quick little... It's not a staycation. We're going to have to go somewhere.
You could go on a train.
We could go on a train.
Let's go.
You want to do it?
Hop my bag.
Got it. Took a little while to warm that one up because the weather's getting cooler.
Yeah, it's colder, so the train's slower.
Yeah.
Okay, I honestly was at a loss at the end of this. I felt emotional. I felt anxious. I felt like I needed to watch the next episode, but I did not. I paused in Prediction Town. Okay, I think Mike will turn up the heat. I think him being the attorney asking questions will make people feel more comfortable on the stand lying for him. I think that it's easier for them to lie with Mike there.
Okay.
And I think he's going to weasel his way out of this.
Okay.
On some technicality, maybe. A hung jury, maybe. Like, maybe it just delays it for a little bit. But Mike Ross is not going to prison at this moment.
Okay.
Jack Soloff, I think, is going to get named partner. But then, that's what I said. But then you thought maybe his name was spelled with a Z or an S. And I was like, well, if you saw his name on the wall, you would know what it was spelled with.
You're trying to put stuff together.
But, I mean, you are a trickster. You know, sometimes you do.
Listeners, you can't see this, but Maggie tried to put her elbow up on a chair and it doesn't exist. And so it's floating in the air.
I'm committing.
You are committed.
Yeah, so sometimes you like try and lead me astray on that. So I'm still going to read this prediction. I think he's on the good guy team right now and really trying to save the day. So I think he will help the case. Lola.
Since her name was Lola. She was a tech girl.
A tech girl. Copacabana. So is she going to testify? Like, she's got to be... Since Anita is bringing up everything, and she knows everything about everyone, she's going to have to place how Mike got onto the bar website, how he got onto the Harvard alumni. She's going to have to find Lola and bring Lola in to testify if she's going to win this case.
Okay. Some strong predictions, very specific.
Thank you.
I cannot confirm or deny.
Of course you cannot. Nor would I want you to.
What I can confirm is that we're going to watch the last 2 episodes of this season, and we're going to watch that season finale together. And I cannot deny that it's going to be great.
Okay, I cannot wait.
I cannot wait for you to see this.
Oh my gosh. And I cannot deny that on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the 28th of November, correct?
No.
The 27th of November. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. On Wednesday, November 27th, the day before Thanksgiving.
Around 7-ish p.m.
Around 7-ish.
7:30.
Central Time.
Yeah.
We will be on Instagram Live recording our episode.
So it's not going to be just like random content. I mean, it might be a little bit random, but we're going to be doing what you guys are usually hearing, but you're going to see it.
Yes.
While getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Yes. Making some important additions to the Thanksgiving table.
Yes.
It's going to be an audio visual experience.
We would love for you guys to join us. We would love to chat with you. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great time.
It's a grand old great time.
Grand old great time.
Looking for a grand old great time. Come
on
down to the grand old great time.
Here we go. Grand old great time.
Yeah. We're almost done with season
I can't believe
5.
it. This one has flown past.
Wild and believable.
Wild and believable.
Yeah. It's going to be really great.
Am I going to cry?
I don't know.
Am I going to throw something?
I don't know, but I'm going to be there with you.
Thank you. Hold my
Oh
hand.
my God. I know exactly what happens. Like, I know, I can like picture this one like
vividly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This was a edge of my seat
finale,
kind of like the end of season 1 of The West Wing, rolling into season 2.
Okay.
Did you know the season premiere of season 2 of The West Wing had 25 million viewers?
Dang.
That's a lot of people 25 years ago.
That is.
To tune in to a show before there was ever like streaming and binge watching. Yes. Because what happens at the end of season 1 and then the way that they handle episodes 1 and 2 of The West Wing of season 2.
Perfection.
I can't even. I'm going to tell you right now, we got some stuff like that coming up.
Okay.
Wild and believable, Maggie.
Okay.
I say that and I mean it. I mean it. Well, we did it. How long? Wait, don't look. How long do you think it is?
You have to sign off.
Oh my God, I forgot. We have to close out this podcast. Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to check us out at onlysuitsfans.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
If you're looking for some inspiration for your review, why don't you start with, this podcast is wild and believable.
Guess what time it is?
Well, an hour and 20 minutes on this.
Hour and 15. I'm gonna cut that down and get it tight.